Well, the showrunner is the one who is in charge. So, over the whole sort of purview of the show. So, everything from uh, casting it and writing it and choosing the directors and making any kind of diplomatic decision when people disagree.
Oh, right.
Publicity, editing, final cuts.
My God. That's everything then. So there's nothing you don't do apart from the catering.
I sometimes have. I actually did clean a toilet once.
Did you?
In
What? On
Chicago.
Under the Dome? No.
No, on ER. Rebecca De Mornay's toilet. I have never even said that. I don't think in print.
My God, that's the immediate show. This exclusive. You clean Rebecca De Mornay's toilet.
I did.
Yeah, that is good.
Because we went into the banger. It's called the trailer. And it was a mess, and we were like freaked out. And the other executive producer and I was an exec producer then, and we were like literally cleaning the trailer. So we clean trailers too.
Well, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. And so, why don't they call them showrunners on the credits when they run? Because clearly, your status on the credits is the same as everybody else. Is it?
Oh, that's
where,
interesting.
Where you seem to be in charge.
It's all negotiated per the Writers Guild. So I guess the Writers Guild hasn't. We haven't negotiated that title yet.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I suppose it's newish, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, so let's talk about ER because that was your first big project.
Right.
You were a showrunner on that, were you? Or you were
for the last year I was there.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with the show?
With ER?
With ER.
Well, I grew up with John Wells, who was the showrunner of ER, and then he's Shameless and West Wing, and he's just directed August Osage County.
Oh, okay.
So we grew up together in Denver, and he hired me on China Beach years ago. That starred Dana Delaney and Mark Helgenberger, and I wrote on that, and then I went to medical school at Harvard, and he sent me. We stayed in touch because I thought, I don't want to be in show business anymore. It's too crazy. And I had a son. He was born. My son was born. And I thought, I don't know if I can make it. So. He sent me the script that Michael Crichton wrote in 1969 when Michael was a medical student at ER, at Harvard. And it was called ER, and Steven Spielberg had bought it. But it lay dormant in a trunk literally for, I don't know, almost 25 years. And someone found it, and Steven said, oh yeah, I remember that. I was going to make it as a movie, but it could make a good TV show. So they sold it to NBC, and NBC did not like it. They said it had too many storylines, and nobody cares about all of these people, and shouldn't it be more about the patients? But they did it because it was Michael Crichton and Steven Spielberg. And John Wells was attached as the executive producer, and he sent it to me, and I read it when I was in medical school, and I was a fourth-year medical student at Harvard, and I said, it's like my life, only we don't use glass IV bottles anymore, and we use different antibiotics, but it really captures what it's like to be a medical student and a resident in a major teaching hospital. So he said, can you come and break stories, because they're going to make it, but we don't have any guarantee it'll last. And I said, sure, I can come for 2 months, but I loved it so much I arranged with Harvard to go back during hiatuses and finish medical school.
Wow, so you're doing that at the same time?
Yeah, and then I did that for 2 years, and then...
what a way to put yourself through college in a bizarre way.
Exactly. And then I did the residency for 7 years. While I was on ER, and 2 years while I was on SVU. I used to hide in the linen closet and give notes for SVU, because I was the showrunner the whole time. No
wonder it's so real then, because you were just
you were
immersed in it anyway, weren't you?
It was all, so much of it is the real deal, and that changed TV in a way, because David Kelly was, I believe, the first lawyer to really write on television when he did LA Law, and the other doctor on the show, Lance Gentile, and I are the first doctor writers. Before that, medical series would simply write medical talk here, and then they would get a consultant or the AMA, and they would sprinkle the medicine in. And that's why ER feels so different. It feels much more organic, the medicine, because
it still does.
It's coming from doctors.
No one's really topped it, have they?
No, and so we were there from the beginning, and we also used real doctors on the set. So that's why it looks like when Noah is suturing, or Eric LaSalle is suturing, we had them practice on chicken parts. And then we have them so unreal prosthetic devices that were attached to people's heads or arms. So it was,
God.
there was like a full-time doctor on the set, and they would record everything and make sure that it was spoken correctly.
Mm,
So
amazing. So,
it
better
set
talk
the bar.
yeah, no, definitely. So the dome. I mean,
Yes.
how could you bring your medical knowledge to bear on this?
Well, we do have rules for the dome about what works scientifically or not, what kind of
right.
rays get through. There's it's online, I think, at CBS.com, the rules of the dome. It's permeable to water, but it's like a very fine sieve. That was in episode 2. You found that out. It's like it reminds me of when I was reading comic books as a kid, and I learned all the rules about kryptonite. Like blue kryptonite does this, white kryptonite does this. So the dome, the reason that it can rain, I guess you all haven't seen it.
I've seen the rain.
Oh, you have
Yes,
seen
I've
it
seen
rain.
it. I like the rain actually.
Yeah, so you have seen it rain. So it rains because
So it's permeable, but it has its own ecosystem.
Ecosystem and
as well.
climate system.
Isn't that a bit of a?
as Dodie says, because the sun shines through the sun's rays get through the dome.
Mm,
There's a big lake.
yeah.
The water evaporates, and therefore, the sun causes wind turbulence, the heat and the moisture, and that can cause rain.
So is it? I mean, I haven't looked at the speculation online. Is there a lot? Is it? And of course, that's a delight for something like this, isn't it? If various conspiracy theories kick
Sure.
off.
Sure.
What's the most outlandish that you thought? Well, that might be a good one for series 3.
Oh, well, we do have a board that's that's next season or the next season. When the dome can the dome be self-cleaning like an oven? Because, in episode 2, when it's so smoky, from the fire, and we see wisps of smoke kind of curl up against the dome, it's only a matter of time before they got to start burning stuff to make, heat, because they're going to run out of propane.
Propane is a big issue, isn't it?
And
Propane is well.
Yeah, so how are they gonna? How's the dome gonna get clean?
I love it. It's so funny and wacky, but is it meant to be an allegory?
It's a parable, I think. Yes, yeah, definitely, because of our times, of sustainability and lack of, or running out of certain resources like fuel and clean water, and it's also about fascism. And so the
As
show,
represented through
Big Jim.
Big Jim, yeah.
Well, the show's divided into thirds. We said the 3 Fs. Well, there were 4 Fs. The 4th is fornication, which I guess has happened since we've seen that with Julia and Barbie. So we have faith, fear, and fascism. So the first third of the series is faith. We'll get out. We work together. We join hands. We'll do it. Fear, after the bomb hits and doesn't do anything. It's like, oh my God, we're stuck here.
Was
What
this
are we
meant to
gonna
be
do?
a nuclear device, or
Yeah.
you was,
Yeah, what are we going to do? Because it burned, the area outside. What are we going to do? How are we going to live? Then we're in now the water wars that you're watching right now. We saw the food riots. So then it's...
They were good, I liked that. That looked very real. I thought you did that really well, actually.
Thank you.
Lots of bodies around, lots of action. Did that take a lot of doing that?
Yes, yes, it's a big campus show. But it's nice to shoot in North Carolina because we have a lot of people who want to be extras. We shoot in 3 towns.
Oh, 3 towns.
It's not like when I shot SVU in New York and people are like, oh my God, you are on our street again. I can't believe it. The show's been on 15 years already.
Why are we special victims?
Yeah, I can't stand to see another trailer parked on our street. But in North Carolina, we shoot in a little town called Burgaw. And we shoot in Southport and Wilmington, and people are like, yes, I want to be on the show. I want to be an extra.
Do you do screenings
Use my
for
house.
that? Do you have?
We did do a screening, and Stephen King came.
Oh no, really? God,
Absolutely,
I bet they love that.
to Wilmington in a big old theater. Yeah, it's like, please use my house, okay.
So what have we got to look forward to in the remaining? I hope to run this next week or the week after. So we've got 10, have we? 10? Jim is going to completely take over. I mean, he's sort of running it anyway. Is this what we can expect?
Well, he and Barbie pair up in the next
do they?
few episodes. Oh, in the first episode when Barbie's talking on his cell phone to somebody saying, I took care of Peter Shumway, who was he talking to? The mysterious, glamorous, very sexy Natalie Zia playing Agatha.
Yes.
And she's coming to town. Well, she's not coming to town. She got trapped there because she also has some involvement with Big Jim.
Oh, I see.
So we start to see all the strands come together. And
what about the woman who's just was having the baby and saw her husband come
Harriet,
back? Yeah.
yes.
Was he on the outside of the dome at that point, or I speculate?
Was the dome giving her the image, or was she just Was she just hallucinating seeing her husband? He wasn't there because he was gone when she got there. But what was it? We don't know.
It must be great fun to work on this.
Yeah.
Is the canvas a bit too broad and it's too inviting to introduce as many wacky things into it as possible, or do you have to be sensible?
No, I don't think it's too broad because we're in that small town, so we can't just do anything. But we do have Mayor Winningham come to town too in a couple episodes.
Oh, right.
Because she plays Natalie's mother. So I do steal from one of my favorite movies, A Place in the Sun, with Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift and Shelley Winters. So our show is it's like the craziness of my head of like all these movies that I love there's so many homages that I've never even talked about, but there's a huge homage in episode 10 with Mayor Winningham and Big Jim on a boat. So if you've seen A Place in the Sun,
right.
and you remember the famous boat scene.
Yeah, so, right.
Oh, uh-oh. So, it's pretty great. So it's like, okay, I love that movie, now I can like redo that scene in my own way.
And how important has Dean Norris been in this whole thing? Because I mean, in casting, did that come early? Did you have him in your mind?
Yeah.
Where did all this come from?
Well, our casting agents, Sherry Thomas and Sharon Bialy, cast, as it happens, The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad.
Oh, wow.
So they said to me, what do you think of Dean Norris to play Big Jim? And we said, we think that's a good idea. Because we cast him on Breaking Bad and he's done. So I said, fantastic. And they brought in Alex Koch, who plays Junior. He'd never auditioned before.
Really?
And
That's great.
he came out of drama department in college and had done a lot of theater. And he walked in and read, and I thought he was great. And we took him to the network 3 times, and then they finally said yes. But we gave Patricia Mara, a.k.a. Rooney Mara, her first work on SVU. So I always like to find young actors, or Michael Pitt, lots of young actors, and giving them their first jobs. So I just thought Alex.
What do you think he brings to it, Dean? What does he just?
Dean or
presence and.
Dean is like such a Dean has a lot of colors, so that he has this intensity and sort of bull in the china shop quality, but he can be very gentle with his son, and he loves his town. So there's a softer side to him that you'll still see in some upcoming episodes.
He's not going to turn into a weird alien or something, is he?
No.
So how did you feel about? There was a bit of I don't want to say negative reaction, but there was a lot of talk about the finale in America when it went out. Did you feel that, or did it trouble you, or this is just all part of it?
Well, no, I don't. It doesn't ever trouble me because we weren't ending the series, so we do give you a lot of information about the dome and the way it comes.
We're getting more than Lost.
Oh yeah.
Which drove everyone nuts. But
yes.
Anyway.
Yes, you are. And you're going to get it through one of our characters who makes a comeback. Now, we do, as I say, no character is safe, and so in episode 12, one of our main characters will bite the dust.
God.
And it's sad.
Fall off the water tower? It's a bit prosaic.
No. No, worse.
Worse?
Really ugly. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, fantastic.